Before we finish today, we were just kind of touching on some of those players in Fitzgibbon. Limerick obviously have 18. So I wanted just to maybe go through a couple of players you might be looking forward to seeing in the new year. Between us, we might pick five between us. It might be a player that we've seen a load of already, and you're just excited to see him take it to a new level, or maybe a younger player on the radar. I know for me, and we might start with a certain Shane O'Brien that I saw
Absolutely.
a photo of Limerick. They were doing jujitsu in Limerick somewhere. I suppose it's team band and whatever. And Shane O'Brien was in the back row for anyone that spotted him with a Celtic jersey on, standing beside Damon Burns. He was as big as the hurler of the year. He's only 18 years of age. He's still eligible for under 20s. He's only 1 year of senior club under his belt, but he's a real prospect, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. To me, Shane O'Brien is the real deal. I thought he had an exceptionally good first year in the Limerick Senior Hurling Championship. That unfortunate injury that he got against Doon may have impeded him a small bit, but Jack, the way he made the transition from underage to senior, it was like as if he was at it all his life. Absolutely fantastic, and he definitely is just. You're talking about players that you think might make the breakthrough. I take it, Jack, and he
Yeah.
is certainly nailed on for it. Absolutely nailed on for it.
Yeah. Anyone else spring to your mind that has maybe impressed you at
Well,
underage
yeah,
levels? Or
somebody that has been hovering around the senior panel for the last 2 or 3 years, and I think this might be his opportunity to move on, and that's Jerome Bylan.
yeah,
Um, I thought when any time he missed a few games from the Piercy, but any game he played, Jack, I thought he was absolutely exceptional, and I thought he was particularly exceptional in the game against Ballygunner. And he, and he's got that small bit of experience of being involved in the squad now, and I would be looking to him as one that I think will possibly drive on this year or
yeah.
next year now, 2023.
I suppose it's bad enough when you have Barry Nash and Sean Finn in front of you and Mike Casey, and then you have Richie English is the backup, and then Morrissey to go in there. But Jerome has been doing it for
But he Jerome Byron, and this is the point that I make about him, Jack. He's got versatility.
yeah.
You
No, he can
know,
he can move up the field.
it's one of his strengths. We've seen him slotted into different positions with equal effect.
Yeah, no, definitely, and he has been doing it at a really high level from the Pierce. I think we all saw at the Ballygunner game that he has done it at the highest level. Another player that I'm looking forward to seeing, and I suppose we touched on it very briefly there, he'll be talking out with UCC, is Ronan Fox. And I suppose when you talk about a hand, Tom Morrissey is going to take a lot of the plaudits when it comes to scoring, and rightly so, because he puts up outrageous numbers. But for the 21s this year, and they reached a 21 semi-final, he was the key man for a hand, was Ronan Fox. So a brilliant free taker, but equally good, from play. To get onto that UCC team that's so star-studded will say its own thing about him. Whether he plays now is a different story, but he's one I think that can really make his mark, for club and county this year.
Yeah, I would agree with you there, Jack. I would agree again, and the hope is that he will make the UCC team. Now, looking at the UCC forwards, there is a very, very strong, formidable contention from Cork. You're talking like the likes of Conor Cahalan, Jack O'Connor, Shane Barrett, Darrow Flynn. They're all there, but he's capable of mixing it in that company. And
Oh,
so, yeah, I would agree with you. I think Ron Fox has a future, and it would be very, very good for his development, of course, to make it on the UCC team.
yeah, and it's a real opportunity for players, is the Fitzgibbon Cup, because it probably is the next closest thing to senior intercounty is the Fitzgibbon Cup,
Absolutely.
because
Yeah.
it's so littered with those players. I'll take another name off you if you have one off the top of your head there.
Well, I have, but I'm giving you somebody that has, I suppose, has been tried and tested, and but anytime I've seen him playing this year, he's been absolutely amazing. That's Colin Coughlin.
Yeah, I suppose he does again. The fellas in front of him, wing back, hurler of the year, three-time All Star and All Ireland winning captain Declan Hannon. And then he will have a Dan Morrissey or a Kyle Hayes to deal with. But he's all the physical traits and the skill in the world. Does Colin? I think it's just about going the same trajectory as he started.
Well, I've seen him playing in 3 or 4 different positions this year. I've seen him playing wing back. I've seen him playing centre back. He dovetailed back into the centre back in that fantastic Premier under 21 final we had between Ballybrown and Mungret. And I've seen him, Jack, at midfield very, very effective. Again, like Jerome, there's a lot of adaptability in him, and now, of course, Jack, he possesses sheer power and hurling skill to match. And like we saw in the 2021 All Ireland when he came on, like he wasn't one bit lost there, Jack. And so like I think this is a year in which Colin will drive on.
Yeah, and he has all the attributes to do that. We might finish with I a player I know you've great time for, was very disrupted with injuries this year. Made the senior panel. He's still in the 20s. I'm talking about Paddy O'Donovan. Very injury blighted year, but what we saw him do for his club, in winning intermediate and this year in Premier Intermediate, again has all the tools to be an inter-county forward. Probably similar to Peter Casey and Graham Mulcahy in stature, but it's all about his wrists. And I know you've great hopes for Paddy O'Donovan. Hopefully, this can be another breakout year for him.
Hopefully, Jack. I really, really have hopes for Paddy O'Donovan. I don't hide it from anybody, my admiration for the guy.
No need to.
I think he's just absolutely fantastic, and I think I've been vindicated for the most part since. But he got that injury at the start of this year, Jack, which definitely impeded him. No question about it. And I suppose if he had a fault, maybe it was he came back too soon or tried to come back too soon without giving it fully cleared up. But to me, I think he's just a simply fantastic performer, prospect, an absolutely fantastic prospect. And I saw him in a county under 19 final this year. And he was just on a different planet. He was just simply out magnificent. And that's just at his own level, It was the same. He brought the same thing into the under 21 championship, and like his performance is for effing, and they have been so consistent. Like since he made the breakthrough, and who will forget the county final of 2021?
Yeah, I suppose that we've named 5 there. There's 100 young lads coming through in Limerick.
We haven't mentioned. You see, we haven't mentioned Adam English. Another fantastic prospect. We haven't mentioned Cathal O'Neill because I suppose we're assuming that Cathal O'Neill at this stage is part of the system. But
yeah,
a player that my heart goes out to, and I hope that his luck will turn this year, and that the Fitzgibbon Cup with UL will be the catalyst for a change of look, and that's Mark Quinlan of Garris-Ballan.
Yeah, fine player. I think he's lovely centre back. For Garris-Ballan, obviously he won a couple of minors with his club, but there's so many lads of that age just sprinkled around. Like you mentioned, Eddie Stokes a while ago. He'll be in with UCC, even Patrick Hartnett in there as well. Yeah. Carl Downs, another one from KP. Davy Fitz from KP. Look, we're really blessed with the young talent coming through, because the lads in the Limerick senior team, they're a good age profile, but they have a lot of hurling done as well. So it'd be no harm if the bit of competition will drive them on a bit more. But that was just a small...
Going back to Mark Quinlan, Jack, and I don't want to skip over it, nor I don't want to hog it. This is fact. In 2018, Garris-Ballan won the County Intermediate Championship. Galway won the County Intermediate Football Championship. Mark Quinlan played every minute of every game except 20 minutes. He on a Sunday he went down to Dungarvan, where Garris-Ballan were beaten by Clonea in the Munster Clubs Championship. And the following Wednesday night, he was absolutely outstanding when Garrispilla at centre back when Garrispilla retained the Premier Minor Hurling Championship. That is the type of individual you're talking about there. So let's hope that his luck is going to turn for him, because he deserves it.
Yeah, he was another lad, if I'm right, was in that picture in that jiu-jitsu hall. So he's back in there with Limerick. So please God, in terms of injury, it'll be a good year for Mark.